Warren H. sunglasses today because today is May 15th. And Warren, after being in the hospital, I believe 186 days, most probably 2/3 of that time in the ICU, just sent me a message stating that he is home doing a repair on his computer, speaker and microphone system, so that him and I can once again communicate with each other on Skype, which has not been available for about the last 30 days. So we have a lot of subjects to discuss today. I am going to ask you nicely, do not post any comments. If you are here now and I see a comment, I'm going to ask you to not post comments, especially if I don't know you. And more specifically, if you are a troll from another person's channel, you will simply be removed. Do not post any comments until I am done posting video titles and links. If you can't understand something simple like that, then you don't belong on my channel. So please don't post anything until I get about 8 video titles and links on my channel. Now, we are going to go to my channel, and then I'm going to go to I have to refresh this page. Today's topics are going to include Page High, Starfish Beach, which I did go to Starfish Beach, and it's just about a half hour from my house, and I did not find any sun starfish, but I found several hundred. Big E and Cebu, you know that don't post anything doesn't apply to you, my friend. You are one of my closest friends on YouTube. I just want to make everybody aware that Big E and I have become quite good friends over the last several months. However, I am going to post 8 links for 8 videos about one of the topic matters besides famous people who have lost one nut due to accidents or cancer and even birth defects. So there are many topics. I'm going to discuss 5 different topics today, but one of the main topics is going to be about narcissists. Now, I want disclaimer, every statement that I make about narcissists on this show today is a direct quote from one of the next 8 videos I'm going to post the links to. Pinoy, please, if you just showed up, please don't post anything until I'm done posting links. Thank you. Welcome to the machine. I need to post some links and I need a few minutes. So please wait until those links have been posted, and I will let you know when that happens. Okay, so the reason I'm going to talk about narcissists this week is because we all know what happens when Fazio goes on there. And okay, I'm back. I refreshed my tablet, which there should not have been this problem. But here's what we're going to do. I have been able to see the comments. Okay, I'm back. I have been able to see the comments. Please give me a moment, because in a few minutes, Dr. Fazio is going to show you what options you have to replace one nut. So if you were in a tragic accident like Mr. Obama, what are your options when it comes to nut replacement? And this is the Dr. Fazio medical kit for one nut replacements. But I'm going to ask everybody again to let me post 8 links and 8 titles that have to do with today's show in regards to narcissistic behavior, and or why people do the things they do that don't make sense. But this is not my understanding. These things that I'm going to talk about today come from the 8 professionals, from the video links, from these videos. These are direct quotes by actual doctors and psycho-conscious or unconscious state of awareness of narcissists themselves. I'm going to say this again, Malou. Stop posting until the links are on the page. One more time you post, and then somebody's just going to make you disappear. We know where you're from. We know who you are. Don't post another thing on my channel until the links are on the page. That goes for everybody else. This guy, Malou, you know where he comes from. And if you don't know where he comes from, I'll tell you where he comes from. He comes from someone who may or may not be a narcissist. And he even may be or may not be that person. So Malou is, for all intent and purposes, persona non grata, and or Malou, it has even been rumored that he is Go-Go Bobo. And Go-Go Bobo is nothing but a worthless troll. Okay, so let's clear that up right now. The idiot believes that he should be able to make shows with some fictitious electronic voice and say anything he wants. But he doesn't have the balls to come on YouTube and show his face. That's what I feel about Go-Go Bobo. Not Go-Go Bobo's sister, but Go-Go Bobo. So he's either Go-Go Bobo or a complete and total, by definition of the videos I'm going to post, possibly a narcissist, possibly, but definitely the lover of a particular possible narcissist's channel. So Malou, adios, as they say in Italy and Mexico and even the Philippines, baby. Get this guy off the channel. Now, I'm going to post these links to the videos I have watched repeatedly in the last 4 days. I'm also going to introduce a new song I made to thank people, because you should remember the super chat button is my friend, and I run a legitimate scam. And talking about legitimate scams, I want to tell you, one of the girls I met this week from the dating site in Bohol, it was an amazing thing. Very pretty girl. She did have several children, and she forgot to tell me about that on the dating site. But the most interesting thing about this dating site meet-up that I had at the ICM Mall and was that the girl actually had no teeth. She forgot to tell me that too. Well, she had false teeth, but I said, is there anything else I should know when you're probably was sitting down ready to have lunch? And she said, well, some people find it a little bit disheartening that I have no teeth. I said, looks like you have teeth. And then she did the unimaginable. She took out her uppers and showed me her uppers. Oh my God, that was oh God, the things that you have to ask these girls on a dating site before you meet with them. It's amazing. Do you have children? No. Do you have children that live someplace else? Yes. So you have children? No. They live with my mother. Do you have teeth? Well, yes, but no, because they come out at night. I gotta tell you, being on a dating site is, I'm doing it for educational purposes. That's just one thing that you should know. Okay, so before I post these links, I want to talk about Page High. I went to Starfish Beach this week. I want everybody to just stop posting, is what I want, until I'm done with my dissertation. Page High, I went to Starfish Beach this week. I spent, if you were to send me an email, I would send you more videos than what I'm going to post about Starfish Beach. But the one video that I do have of Starfish Beach has several hundred starfish, because it's breeding season, but no sun starfish. Okay, so I just wanted Page High to know that I did that, and actually his video is at 30% now. And YouTube, to give you an idea what YouTube is doing to me, or Globe Internet is doing to me specifically, I don't know, but is doing to me, to upload an 11-minute and 43-second video. 11 minutes and 43 seconds took 26 hours. 26 hours. Typically it takes 15 or 16 hours. So they've almost doubled. So for every minute of my high definition videos, it's taking 2 hours and 15 minutes. Timothy Starr, welcome to the machine. I'm going to ask you people again to please stop posting until I get these next links up. So I'm going to start posting links on videos that I watched this week, all regarding narcissists, and all because I heard one of the most disgusting videos I've ever heard in my entire life. Demeaning, defaming, slandering, and making fun of an actual police officer hero from Australia, whose name is Warren H. And he happens to be my friend, by the way. So I actually recorded that video, as did Warren, as did some of my other friends. And when that video was reviewed by certain people, they are going to put that in a specific folder so that this video can be referenced as a character reference. I just want you to understand that Warren, and I thank you for that video, knowing that Warren is a decorated police officer in Australia of 19 years with 0 Mars on his record. And then for you, for this person, who I won't name because I really can't do that, for this person to go on and make a video, by the way, it's a video, make a video to the effect that Warren H. has no nuts, which is not true. Warren H. did have testicular cancer, but he did lose 1 nut, which is why I put together this box of nuts today for famous people that have lost 1 nut. And that includes Mr. Obama. Because Mr. Obama, you could say I had the bicycle helmet on. A few days ago, I was riding the bicycle with Mr. Obama. And you see that chain around his neck? See the little chain around his neck? Well, Mr. Obama was sitting on my shoulder like this, right? And he fell down into the chain, the real bicycle chain. And Mr. Obama lost 1 nut. This was a tragedy. I was sitting there on the side of the road crying like you wouldn't believe. And Mr. Obama, I lost 1 nut. I can't believe I fell into the chain, Michael. I said, Mr. Obama, don't worry. Don't worry, Mr. Obama. Don't worry, Dr. Fazio. He has a replacement nut for you, Mr. Obama. Dr. Fazio has a replacement nut that will be perfect for you, Mr. Obama. And these are some of your options, Mr. Obama. Don't worry. So give me let's say, give me 120 seconds, and I'm going to post these videos about narcissists especially this particular Dr. Carter's channel. His name is Dr. Carter. Okay, Peekaboo 2. You are welcome to post at any time, my friend. I want to get these 8 videos that I've been repeatedly reviewing, so that when you need to understand, when I talk about narcissists, possible sociopaths, disclaimer, possible psychopaths, disclaimer. When I talk about these things in today's show, all of the concepts I'm going to generalize about came directly from one of the shows that I'm posting the video links to. And in addition to that, I want you to remember something, and I want you to remember it good. The super chat button is my friend. Okay, I'm going to post that because I run a legitimate scam. Then we're going back to the videos depicting what a narcissist and how narcissists think. And understand, these are not my videos. Understand, these videos that I'm going to post the links for are all doctors of psychology or doctors of sociopathic understanding. So don't shoot the messenger, so to speak. These are all vetted doctors with degrees from universities, and they are all legitimate in the psychology field. I'm not real sure what you would call these people, but these links are real links. They're valuable too. I will tell you this, because one thing that you have to understand on YouTube is that certain people do things with no understanding on your behalf or my behalf of why they do them. So what I did, and what I have been doing for a very long time, is doing research on why these people say these things. And I will tell you that, like the link I just posted, it's about narcissists, but it's also about flying monkeys. And those are the people like that guy Nalu, whoever that guy, Malu, whoever he is. He goes from my channel, he goes to other channels that I don't really care that he goes there, but he goes there to troll them and this, that, and the other thing. That's a flying monkey. I don't need people like Malu on my page. So a flying monkey is somebody that attaches themselves to a narcissist because of either their need or their lack of self-respect or self-dignity. Also, a flying monkey could be taken in by a narcissist's lies, half-truths, and deceits, or it could be something simple as a flying monkey is being emotionally or monetarily supported by the narcissist and has no way out of the relationship. That could be, it could be a boss and an employee situation. It could be it could be a girlfriend boyfriend situation. It could be a man who has children with a woman and she has no place to go, therefore she keeps up with his nonsense because he's the father of her children and he's supporting the children and she needs that support. So a flying monkey, that particular video that I just posted is a very important video when understanding why people take the side or appear to allow the narcissist in their life, whoever that person might be. When a person allows a so-called disclaimer narcissist to take control of their life, there are reasons, and that video I want you to really pay close attention to, because it is a powerful video. It does expose many of the traits of a narcissist and many traits of a flying monkey. Now, I'm going to turn the camera around, and then I'm going to show you these videos that I took these links from. So I'm going to pick this up and I'm going to turn this around, and then these videos that you see before you, this is Dr. Carter. The name of his channel is Surviving Narcissism, and he has 300,000 subscribers. Now, this video is particularly important because it talks about when narcissists play the victim card, and virtually all do. Okay? So this video is one of the videos that I posted the links for. This video coming up, this is Narcissists and Flying Monkeys, and they're flying monkeys. Okay? This is also by Dr. Carter, and the channel is Surviving Narcissism. This video is 5 secrets that narcissists hide. Are you falling for them? I didn't post the link to that, but this is in my playlists. If you'll notice in my notes or what I'm going to go over it, I have 2 playlists on my homepage about narcissists. This is a very important video. These are the concepts of why narcissists have the ability to control other people. Now, again, another page for Dr. Carter is this page, Surviving Narcissists. And he has a concept, a reason, a belief, or a system or series of thoughts as to why narcissists do the things they do. So he has several hundred videos on the topic, and all of his guests that appear in the videos are all doctors of psychology and psychopathy. Okay, so another video that I want you to look at is how you can determine the difference between a narcissist, a sociopath, or a psychopath. Okay, so in my notes, we're going to talk about some of these things, but I don't really need to talk about them. If you want to know what a sociopath, a narcissist, or a psychopath is, by definition from Dr. Carter, Dr. Les Carter, right here, Dr. Les Carter. If you want to know what a sociopath, narcissist, or psychopath is and how you can recognize the distinctions, this video is also in my playlists, and this video will give you an exact description and tell you the difference between a narcissist, a sociopath, and a psychopath. Now, basically, I'm going to tell you what they are. I'm going to give you a little disclaimer here because I'm not a doctor, okay? But I'm going to give you a little disclaimer. I'm not a doctor, but what I have gleaned from Dr. Carter's video, Narcissists, Sociopaths, and Psychopaths, a narcissist will have tendencies to hurt people emotionally, not necessarily physically, but emotionally. But with that, as being only a narcissist, this is according to Dr. Carter's studies, a narcissist may have some compassion or empathy and limit the amount of hurt that they inflict on people. That's possible. It's not always true, but that possibility exists if there was a quote unquote a realm of narcissistic personality disorder. In that realm, the possibility of compassion and empathy exists. According to Dr. Carter, disclaimer, I'm not a doctor. This is my opinion that I think he's correct as well. So Dr. Carter moves from what a narcissist is, that with the slight ability for empathy or compassion, to a sociopath. And in his studies, what Dr. Carter has discovered is that a sociopath has little or no empathy or compassion. They don't, they know it exists, compassion and empathy, and they may use some compassion and empathy in their ploy to garner the supply they need to exist in life. And supply is something that you and I, or anybody that they can hurt gives them. And a sociopath derives pleasure, according to Dr. Carter, disclaimer, a sociopath derives pleasure from hurting other people. That's called their supply. The supply can be something as simple as, let's say someone called me fat and out of shape, and they repeatedly said, that guy is fat and out of shape. They derive pleasure from their flying monkeys who believe that I am fat and out of shape. Now, the truth is I'm overweight, but I'm not out of shape. So part of that is true and part of it isn't true. But then when the full-blown picture of that guy is out of shape and fat, when you take all that was said, and then the person says, I'm better than he is at everything. Disclaimer. Okay, I heard that on YouTube. Disclaimer. I'm better at him than everything. I'm more better. I'm the best. Well, okay, so if I'm fat and out of shape, and I heard a person say that he's better at everything than I am, then that means he's in better shape than me. So therefore, I have the choice to say to that person, I will wager you X amount of dollars to prove that you're in better shape than me. So what a narcissist would say is different than what a sociopath would say. A narcissist might say, well, yeah, I said that, but it's probably, it might not be true. But a sociopath, according to Dr. Carter, a sociopath will twist what they said into a different story. They'll say, well, I don't have to prove myself. But they make a challenge and then they don't have to prove themselves. So why make the challenge? See, when I make a challenge to somebody, I'm dead serious about it. I want to prove that you're better than I am. I want you to do that. Now, recently, I heard a story that I was fat, obese, out of shape, and I had giant mammary glands. Now, that's probably true. Okay, I probably do have big mammary glands, but I'm not, and I might be a little fat, but I'm not out of shape. Okay, so I made a challenge to someone that I believe it was a particular person called me fat and out of shape, and so I said, look, here's what we'll do. We'll walk from BQ Mall to ICM Mall. Amigo! Yo! Hold on. Okay. So I made a challenge to walk from the BQ Mall to the ICM Mall and back. And if I fell down and died of a heart attack, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. If I fall down and can't complete the walk, I'm okay with that. I'm going to give you $5,000 US. And then the person that said I was fat and out of shape, who might, disclaimer, may have sociopathic tendencies, said, I don't have to prove anything to anybody. Well, why did you say it if you don't want to back it up? See, that's a distinction that Dr. Carter, disclaimer, I'm not a doctor. Dr. Carter says in that video that typically if you have sociopathic tendencies, you're a coward. And you'll say something and then twist it up what you said. Disclaimer. You'll twist it up to make people believe, or try to make people believe, that that's not what you said. But you see, one of the things that we have as an advantage is we have videos to prove what you said, okay, or what was said. So when a person challenges me, like, for instance, I heard a story that I'm afraid I don't go out into the deep water. What the hell is wrong with you people. What is wrong with you people? I am afraid to go in the deep water. I don't go in the deep water. I don't swim 1,000 feet offshore, 10,000 feet offshore, 20,000 feet offshore. Where the hell do you think you go diving? You go diving miles offshore on a wreck, 10 miles, 5 miles, 3 miles. What's the difference? What's the difference? So I heard a story that I'm afraid of the deep water and that I don't go in the deep water. What about, so this is what Dr. Carter would describe as a sociopath. Sociopathic personality disorder. This is part of it. Dr. Carter says, this is quote unquote, disclaimer, this is not my opinion, this is Dr. Carter's opinion. Dr. Carter says, even if you show them proof that what they said is not true, and that would be all my diving and scuba videos from Palawan and from America, from wherever I went scuba diving in my life, pictures and videos, I go into 100, 125 feet of water for the deep water penetrations when we go into rectum. Am I afraid of the deep water? No. But yet, a person who has sociopathic tendencies or personality disorder possibilities, according to Dr. Carter, will say that Michael Fazio is afraid of the deep water, even though there's video proof. So that determines a malignant narcissist would back down. I mean, a typical narcissist might back down, but a sociopathic or a malignant narcissist will not back down, will not say, I made a mistake. That's Dr. Carter's talking. That's not me talking, okay? This is Dr. Carter in the video, Narcissists, Sociopath, or Psychopath, How to Recognize the Distinction. So a narcissist might back down, but a sociopath or a malignant narcissist will not back down. So what they'll do is they'll twist the truth to make it look like they didn't do anything wrong or didn't say anything wrong. So when I heard that story about I'm afraid of the deep, I can't swim several thousand feet, I put up another $5,000 Fazio challenge for you to take my challenge. Anybody. Doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't make a difference whether your name is Susan or Angela or Eric or Bob or Tom. It doesn't make a damn bit of difference who you are. If you say that I can't swim 5,000 feet, I wager you $5,000, dollar a foot. If I can't swim 5,000 lousy feet, what do you think 5,000 feet is? What do you really think? It's a couple hours of swimming. Not a lot of swimming. If anybody can't swim 1,000 feet, then you shouldn't go in the damn ocean to begin with. But if I know for a fact I can swim 5,000 feet, but I want to wager somebody out there to prove that I can swim 5,000 feet without stopping. I don't have to swim it in a certain time, but I want you to understand that because you said I can't do it, I'm willing to prove it, but I'm willing to wager you $5,000 US. If you don't want to back it up, well, then that's what a sociopath will do. They'll say something, and then they'll back out of that thing. Now, another thing that Dr. Carter says, and this is in the video that I posted the link to, certain personality disorders are constantly referring to themselves as victims. So that's in the notes that I just posted. They are constantly referring to themselves as victims. So if you know somebody, now I don't think in all the years I've been on YouTube, I ever said, oh, I'm a victim. I'm a victim. I never said that about myself, okay? Because I don't look at myself as a victim. But there are people, and this is a commonality between sociopaths, psychopaths, and narcissists. They all have some sort of mindset that the world is against them and they're a victim. So if you've ever heard that, the possibility exists, just my opinion, but Dr. Carter's, the possibility exists that that person falls into the one of three categories. well, actually 4. He might be a narcissist. He might be a malignant narcissist, because that's the next level. And he might be a sociopath. That sociopaths have more of a tendency to say, I'm a victim. According to Dr. Carter, this is the video right there. Narcissists, sociopaths, or psychopaths, how to recognize the distinctions. And one of the things that you can recognize the distinction in Dr. Carter's video is that sociopaths and psychopaths have one distinct verbiage that they use, and that is that they call themselves or believe themselves to be victims. So if you know somebody that might have said that, then I suggest you watch Dr. Carter's video to find out whether or not what you read or saw or heard on a video falls in line with Dr. Carter's videos. And he has hundreds of videos, and so does the other people that I made reference to. So now I'm going to read the comments. Thank you, everybody, for coming. And okay, so we have Warren is here. Mike L., I don't personally give a shit what your opinion is, just so that you understand. And Scott knocking you out of the park there, I agree with that. You come onto my channel all the time and say the same thing. Personally, I don't give a shit what you think. Now, it's your opinion, but apparently you said something that you should not have said. So Scott knocking you down is a good thing. Okay, Michael? What business is it of yours, first of all, how I spend my time, and how do you know why and what I do when I'm not on camera? And third, what do you know about my personal life that should make it any of your business what I'm doing as in regards to building or not building something? Personally, I don't understand why you're here asking me personal questions, especially some schmuck like Icon that you have. No videos, no channel, no nothing. You are a troll. I don't give a flying shit what people like you think or say. I never did. I never cared. I'm never going to care. And I don't ever want to care what people like you say. Until you have the balls, or somebody like you has the balls, to come on, make a video, show your face, show where you live, show what you do for a living, show me where you live, show me all that shit. I don't really care where you live, but I don't really give a shit. I'm just using you as an example right now. I don't know you. I don't owe you any explanations, and I don't want to know you, okay? Because right now, what I'm looking at is some worthless icon with no content, okay? So why would I care what you think? And I'm just using you as an example. Get off the page. Stop coming to my videos. Don't subscribe to my channel and don't watch my videos. There's your options. What do you give a shit what I do with my free time or what I do with my personal time? You're just here as a distraction from my show. Now, so get off the show, okay? Mike L. is persona non grata. Adios, Michael. All right, so Warren says, hi, Michael, in the chat room. I'm home for the first time in almost 8 months. Warren H. And what prompted this is, video is that there's a video stating that Warren, I cannot believe that the hatred, I cannot believe the hatred I viewed and heard in this video about Warren H. Losing one testicle. Now, Warren made a video a long time ago that he lost one testicle. Well, a blogger, and we won't name names, but a blogger made a video saying that Warren lost both testicles and that Warren can't have sex. But he didn't lose both testicles, he lost one, and that's why we have the one nut replacement kit. These are all different kinds of nuts. Let me open it up and I'll show you a couple of the different kinds of nuts that Warren could choose, but I think I know which one I want to give Warren. These are all the nuts. These are different size nuts, different colored nuts, and different types of metal. See, for instance, Warren could choose. That's the reason for this video about the one nut replacement. And Mr. Obama also, he's going to pick out a nut as well. So the reason for the video, the topic matter in the video regarding sociopaths, psychopaths, narcissists, and malignant narcissists is because inside the video that was made about Warren, I found hintergedanken, or similarities between what was said about Warren to what is said on Dr. Carter's video. So let me just give you a couple of ideas what Warren has to choose from as far as the one nut replacement. And Mr. Obama is also going to pick out a nut. So first thing I want to show you is we have the red wing nuts, okay? Now, these red wing nuts, they also double as like a Gamai Oten, okay? It makes you look like you have an Oten. It could be, it's a Gamai Oten, but it's about the size of, and so that's one type of nut. Now, another type of wing nut is this bronze wing nut. Now, this is a very popular wing nut amongst the sailors that have been in sailing accidents. This is a bronze wing nut. If you were going to buy this in America, this nut would cost you about somewhere between $12 and $20, depending on the quality of the bronze. This came off of a porthole, and this is probably close to 100 years old. This is a bronze wing nut, but as you can see, you got to be a big man, and you have to have a matching Oten to have a wing nut like this. But this is just one possibility. So let's say you're lesser of a man in size and stature. So you could go with a chrome-plated wing nut, something like this. You could go with a chrome-plated wing nut for if you're a smaller man in stature. But you got to understand, these things, they do look like wings, and you're kind of going to look like Batman down there in the underworld. Now, that's another kind of nut. But then there's the giant wing nut. Okay, this is a bigger wing nut. This is also from a porthole that's about 100 years old. I could probably let this go to a doctor that wants to insert it somewhere for about $500 US. I know it's not worth $500, but that's what I want for it. So this is a bronze bolt and wing nut that you could have for about $500. You give it to your doctor, have them clean it up with some anti-disinfectant hand wash or some shit, and then you go like that. Now, there's another kind of nut. There's an American kind of a nut. This is a castle nut, a fiber lock nut. Okay, so this nut has a little fiber on it, a little plastic fiber, and let's see what you can see here. Yeah, okay, that has that white fiber. That's a fiber nut. And it kind of locks. You could put a post next to your Oten, or if your Oten is small like this, you could just put this right on top of the Oten and screw it on, and then this part of the nut will lock down onto the Oten. Now, Warren and I already discussed this. Warren doesn't want to have anything to do with these little nuts. But what Warren wants to replace his nut with, and what well-deservedly, is one of these giant galvanized steel nuts. This way, when he's teabagging somebody that abuses him on YouTube, he wants that person to know that that nut that he has could be considered a weapon of mass destruction. Steve Montelli, John Escape, welcome to the machine. This is the nut that Warren picked out as a one-nut replacement. However, Mr. Obama, he's going in a different direction, Mr. Obama. You would think that Mr. Obama would want to have a, well, he definitely wants to have a steel nut like Warren, but not galvanized steel, because the galvanized is a gray nut. Mr. Obama, let me get Mr. Obama over here, and let me get him over here. I'll let him pick that out himself. So, Mr. Obama. Oh, I'm here, Michael Fazio. I heard Steve Montelli was here. I love Steve Montelli. I like the way he talks. Ooh. So, remember, ladies and gentlemen, the great Steve Montelli, a man that thinks deeply and streams in a calm, measured, and intelligent manner. Welcome to the Fazio machine. Welcome, Steve Montelli. So I'm gonna start reading these comments now. We welcome Warren home. Timothy Starr is in the house. Timothy Starr gave me a big super chat last week. Thank you, Timothy Starr. We won't forget that. So, Mr. Obama, you have choice now, Mr. Obama. Which one of these nuts would you prefer? Okay, so we have the flared, chrome-plated nut, Mr. Obama. That would be the one to the left. Then we have the rusty nut, which reminds me of Jack Thompson, because Jack Thompson doesn't give a rusty nut about what anybody thinks. And then we have the octagon rusty nut. So we have the square nut, which is 4 sides, and then we have a 6-sided rusty nut. You definitely want a rusty nut, right? I want a rusty nut, and I want Steve Montelli to do the installation. He's not a doctor like that. He administers the stuff that makes you go to sleep, Mr. Obama. Oh, I could sleep with Steve Montelli. No. He's an anesthesiologist, Mr. Obama. So, sleeping with Steve, no, not sleeping with Steve Montelli, Mr. Obama. How will you please get Steve Montelli out of your brain? Try to pick out a nut. Steve will knock me out. Yes, Mr. Obama. Steve will be the one to knock you out, and then nothing. You have to pick out a nut. Which nut do you want? I would take the square nut. Okay, so you want the square nut. You sure about that, right, Mr. Obama? That's the one I would have picked if I was you. Because you know why, Mr. Obama? Because it's a perfect color match. You could say it's a perfect color. It's two-tone, like a two-tone brown, and it doesn't make you look like a nut, a real nut. Like this nut here, it doesn't make you look like a 6-sided nut. It makes you look like you're a square guy. That's the one I would have picked. So, Mr. Obama, what do you think about the nut that Warren chose for himself? Oh, can I? Oh, yeah, sure. You could hold Warren's nut if you want. Look. Oh, I have Warren's nut. Oh, Mr. Obama, what do you think about when you're holding Mr. Warren Hunt's nut? I think about Steve Montelli knocking me out. See, so you have this aversion to Steve Montelli. More than that, I love Steve Montelli. I love when he comes to my show, because Steve Montelli, Scott Del Fuego said it best. Steve Montelli talks in a nice, smooth voice. That's what I want to hear when he knocks me out. Well, Mr. Obama, take the... Okay. So what do you want to do now? I want to go gander at my new nuts. All right, Mr. Obama. So you want to... Tell you what, Mr. Obama, here. This message has been brought to you, ladies and gentlemen, by Dr. Fazio and Mr. Obama, who is a very health-conscious man, except he screwed up yesterday. We went bicycle riding 2 days ago. We went bicycle riding, and Mr. Obama, he fell off the bicycle, and he fell down into the bicycle chain, and it was a bigger chain than that. He fell down into the chain, and it wasn't so surgical, but he lost one of his nuts. But thank God, Dr. Fazio to the rescue. That's right. We have nut replacement here for Mr. Obama. And then but I want to go back to one of the topics that I was on there. Mr. Obama, here, you take this. You take these over there. All right. So he's playing with us. He's massaging his nut. He wants to know what that's going to feel like. You ever see somebody massage their nuts, or in real life, how long does that take? A few seconds, like 1 second, 2 seconds. Usually if you're in a public place, you go like that. Here, I'll show you. I've watched people on a train, when they scratch their nut, they go like this. 1, 2, 3, done, finished. I've never actually watched somebody, give it like 30 seconds like that. Now, I think there's a difference between scratching your nuts and massaging your nuts. Now, I have to tell you also, I'm going to make a disclaimer, a particular thing I saw on YouTube where a person was claiming one thing, but in reality, all people, and that includes people in high places, really high. They got such a kick out of that video. They call it the tiny gun video. And I just want you to know that the tiny gun video is making its way around the circulatory. No, I'm only kidding. So they call it the big gun video. It's the big gun video. Look, it looks like a bazooka. Oh, the big gun. So, ladies and gentlemen, we want you to understand there is a difference if you're out in public and you're scratching your nut. This is how to scratch your nut. 1, 2, 3. Done. That's it. Now, if you got to go back in a few seconds, you go back. But you don't. You don't do that. That's not scratching your nuts. That's something else altogether. Just want you to know that some people have watched that video, and some people have been entertained, some people have been saddened by the malice, and that has been posted on YouTube. We call it malice. Malice it is called, because you are abusing everybody on YouTube. To do that, number one, and number two, to try to, it would be like saying, Michael Fazio, you're a skinny guy. That's total bullshit, right? Michael Fazio got the big two-toy. Look at the size of these bad boys. Michael Fazio got the big two-toy. Michael Fazio got the big shoulders. If someone came along and said, Michael, you're a skinny little guy, that would not be true. So the same is true. If I was in public and I was gonna scratch one of my nuts, I'd go like this. This is how long it would take. Go like this. 1, 2, 3. Maybe I'd give it a little push like that, but it would all be over in about 1.2 seconds. You would not see me on a train You wouldn't see that shit, okay? Now, if I really had to scratch my nuts, or nut, in one case, so if I had only one nut and I was going to scratch it, it would be a quick note. It would be something that any man would understand, or even woman. Now, there are other options that I didn't talk to you about in the Dr. Fazio one nut box, because Mr. Obama wants a rusty nut. Warren wants one of these giant galvanized nuts in case he has to teabag somebody when he comes to the Philippines. He wants one of these big nuts to teabag the guy with. or, girl, because he does like his conjugal visits. So there's another option inside this box for nut replacement, and now I'm going to show you what that is. And you're not even going to believe this option. That Warren didn't pick this option, and Mr. Obama didn't pick this option, but this option exists. So let me open up the Dr. Fazio one nut box over here, and let's go here. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, the super chat button is my friend. Remember that when Christmas comes. All right, so here is the last option, okay, for, well, no, there's two more options of nuts I haven't discussed. So let me pick out, oh boy, yeah, okay, here we go, okay. So one option is if you're a very small person, or you don't want a noticeable nut replacement, what you're going to do is you're going to choose, of course, you're going to choose a stainless steel nut. Okay, this is a stainless steel nut, and this is guaranteed. It's a lifetime guarantee, the stainless steel. However, the stainless steel nuts are only come in a, well, they're very expensive. Stainless steel is a very expensive steel to make, but this particular stainless steel nut, which is a little different than the next nut that I'm going to show you, this particular stainless steel nut that I have here, this is 316 surgical stainless, okay, non-magnetic, non-iron oxide stainless. So this is the same type of surgical stainless steel that they make pins for broken legs and things like that. So this is a very expensive nut. These are about $1,200 on the market. Now, there's another option that's almost as good as surgical 316 surgical stainless. And that option is if you want to increase the size of your kumasikiama. It comes with one nut. Okay, so what we have here, basically what we have is a one nut package. Okay, now this is a one nut package, but they don't as of yet have it in stainless steel. So what I want to show you is this one nut package comes as a package with an Oten insert to increase the size of the Oten itself. So this is a one nut package, and what happens is when you screw this nut onto the Oten on this side, the bolt goes through the nut into a fiber. It's called a fiber locking nut. Now you wouldn't think these are so expensive, but I got to tell you something. First of all, you couldn't find these in the Philippines unless you went to an airport. But that nut has a value, literally has a value of about $6 US. If you could find that nut and Oten package. So this is another option. It's not surgical, but it does increase the size of the Oten itself. Now, these are all available. Now, I have about 200 of these nuts and little Otens, the Gamay Oten, as they're called in the Philippines. I have 200 of these. If you want to increase the size of your package exponentially, you can buy a package nut and bolt, okay? Or otherwise known as the Gamay Oten package, the Gamay Oten package, Gamay Oten. It comes with a guarantee, a lifetime guarantee like the stainless steel, but what'll happen on this is it could oxidize a little bit, but not enough to make you, not enough for you to notice. Well, in theory, there's not enough to notice anyway. So it could be that this is the one that you want to choose if you want to go incognito as whatever it is that you think that you are, could be. All right, so we have the one nut stainless, surgical stainless, and we have the non-surgical stainless nut and bolt package, okay? Now, I don't know what to charge for this package. The nuts are about $6 a piece. It's called a one-time use fiber lock nylon, not nylon, nylon. One-time nylon lock nut, and this is a aircraft grade Manel bolt. And if you could see right there, you could see there's a little hole in that nut. Now that's a safety wire hole. So you can actually safety wire this oaten nut and oaten package in place. So like a pin in a leg, you can use this for safety wire. Okay. So this is actually, it's part of a carburetor on a Pratt & Whitney 940 reciprocating engine. That's where these came from, but these are new. I just got extra ones when I was rebuilding a carburetor years ago. So this fiber nut, once you screw this nut on, it locks into place. And when the bolt goes through the nut, it comes out this side, and then it locks onto the bolt. So these are all options from, of course, Dr. Fazio in the Philippines, baby. So we know where Warren's at. We know where Mr. Obama is. The only thing that you have to do now, if you have somebody that needs just one nut, please let me send me a message, and I will let you pick out. There's only just a few one nuts left, you know. This is not an endless supply. This is all the nuts that I have for the one nut, whatever that thing that I'm doing, one nut. Okay, so, we lost the video. No, we didn't lose the video. We're back. We are back. So, let me plug this Dr. Page High. I see you there, baby. I see Dr. Page High is here. What does Mr. Obama sound like with a mask and one nut? Well, you just heard him peekaboo to you. But in case you didn't hear him, and in case you're still here, I'll give you another one nut. So this is the nut Mr. Obama chose. He chose one nut, one square nut, and you can see it matches his hair color. And one other thing about Mr. Obama, he got a lot of hair. Okay, like me, I got a lot of hair too. But one thing that I should tell you about my hair is that, look, see, I'm not complaining, but since high school, my hair is back. It used to be 5/16 of an inch, but I think it's moving back 3/8 of an inch since high school. Could be I don't have my glasses on and I'm just getting a misreading. So, Mr. Obama, peekaboo to you wants to know, what do you sound like with one nut? So put this nut on you, okay? Here, Mr. Obama, here. Let me, hold on a minute, peekaboo. No, can't do that. All right. I was going to try to pin a nut on Obama, but I can't do that. But here's what I could do. I could put the nut up here. There's always options, you know. All right, look, you see that nut there? Now that nut is on Mr. Obama's nose. I got to tell you, he probably likes that a lot. Knowing Mr. Obama, I wouldn't doubt it. Because Mr. Obama has been called nuts before, and now you could see, yeah, Mr. Obama's nutty nose, baby. So, what we have there is a nutty president. Yeah, baby. So, you want to know what he sounds like? Oh, I don't sound any different as long as Steve Montelli is around to help me go to sleep at night. He doesn't help you go to sleep, Mr. Obama. He anesthetizes you. Will it hurt? I don't know if it will hurt, Mr. Obama. You're going to have to talk to Steve Montelli about this. Okay. All right, so Page High is in the house. So Page High, Timothy Starr is saying hello to Pinoy Ahoy. Check out the Rileys is in the house. Welcome to the machine, Mr. and Mrs. Riley. Bill, sorry to hear about the bumps on your skin. I watched that about 3 o'clock this morning, and I guess it would be my opinion that it was soap, Mr. Riley, if you're here. Is it? Okay, so Mr. Riley, Bill Riley, he has a rash on his chest that he thinks came from soap, and that could do it. It could be something else. It could be a tree that you brushed into too, or you walked through. It could be something as simple as you walking through a vegetable patch or a garden that you walk through every day, and the pollen is in play, and you just rubbed it on your chest. Could be something simple like that, but probably I wouldn't say it's soap, but you know, I would think it's something else besides soap, but it could be soap. So Timothy Starr says hello to Dr. Page High and to Warren. Warren is saying hello to Timothy Starr. Page High, no worries about the beach. Okay, so we covered that. So I got my link. Mike L., how do you feel now? You know, now that you've been proven to be nothing more than a troll. Okay, yeah. Okay, so that's what trolls do. He got abused, then he goes, either way, it's entertaining. See, this is what he needs. Mike L. might be a narcissist. Otherwise, he would have content on his page. He needs attention, but he's a coward in the respect that he doesn't show who he is, what he does, how he's lived his life, and what he does in his free time. He wants to know what I do. What I do in my free time is it's for my $50 and or higher subscribers on Patreon. So, Mike, if you want to know what I do in my free time, become a Patreon member at the $50 range. There's lots of them, by the way. So you'll have plenty of company. Scott Del Fuego. Now, Scott's talking the truth here. I don't want to get involved with that part of being a narcissist. Scott says about himself, I have some narcissistic tendencies also, but I also have the confidence to make immediate decisions and take action with certainty to mitigate very difficult situations. They go together, I think. Okay, so the one part, the videos that Dr. Les Carter talks about narcissism is not about the type of narcissist that I might be, Scott Del Fuego may be, Page High may be, Clark Henderson may be, or Steve Montelli, or people or Warren for that matter, or even many of the other people that are subscribed to my channel. Scott Del Fuego, fact about one aspect of the narcissistic personality traits. Okay, Dr. Les Carter and Miss Young and all those other people, they are not talking about the type of narcissist that Scott, Warren, myself, Page High, Mr. Obama even, successful people. They are not talking about that type of narcissist. Scott Del Fuego is, by definition, a low-level narcissist because of his accomplishments and his factual evidence that he is a successful man. See, you cannot be a successful person in this world unless you have narcissistic personality traits, but you are not a narcissist. In other words, in Scott Del Fuego's position in life, he describes it. His ability to instantaneously make life judgment decisions because of his experience and education allows him to believe that in some aspect of life, he is more qualified, more efficient, more proficient at what he does than some psycho on the street. Myself, Dr. Page High, we are also, to some small degree, narcissists or have narcissistic traits. Dr. Page High makes a decision on how to do a particular surgery or operation or a medicine, or a patient comes into the emergency room and he has to make an immediate decision of how to treat a trauma patient, or whatever patient comes in, psycho patient, whatever. His decision could be a life or death decision. So his education, skills, and experience allow him to believe that he's better at that than other people. Plus, throw in Scott Del Fuego and Dr. Page High and myself's decisions, where if I made a mistake in doing what I did during the course of my entire lifetime operating heavy equipment, people would die. So I had to be aware of where everybody was that was working behind me, to the side, or in front of me, or behind some object I couldn't see through. So being that I operated heavy equipment, which, by the way, if you don't know how to operate heavy equipment, you're probably not as manly as people that do operate heavy equipment. People that operate heavy equipment, people that do what Scott Del Fuego does, people that do what Dr. Page High have more of a tendency to be a little bit egotistical, but more manly, because what they make decisions on keeps people alive, or people can die because of their lack of judgment. So, in my opinion, when you make decisions as to whether or not people's lives, they live or they die because of your experience and education and or job description, I believe you're more manly of a man. Okay, see, like take Mr. Obama. I don't think very much of Mr. Obama as a man, because he's never operated heavy equipment, except Michelle's. Michelle has a garden in the backyard, and she had some kind of a Roto-Rooter in the garden, and Mr. Obama was riding a Roto-Rooter one day. I heard he was helping Michelle in the garden. So that's the only heavy equipment that Mr. Obama ever operated, was Michelle's rototiller in the backyard. That's the story I heard. But getting back to, in all seriousness, so I'm going to tell you a story. When Scott says something, there are literally immediately a few dozen people are listening. After that, maybe more than 100. Okay, and what Scott says is the law. Okay, that's what he says is what needs to be done. What Page High does, when Page High gives an order in the operating room, that's the law. That's it. There's no, somebody could give an opinion, but when Page High is under pressure because someone comes in under trauma and he makes a decision, that's the law. It's his decision. When I operate a crane with a 100-foot boom, and I got 100 tons over 6 or 8 man crews, and my load is swinging, and I got a guy that's supposed to have a tagline on a 13 or 14 ton ice hammer, and this schlep drops the tagline, and all of a sudden the ice hammer isn't going where it's supposed to go and starts spinning around because the guy dropped the tagline. And I go, what? And I lose a little bit of my mind, because now I have to compensate boom up, boom left, boom right, boom down, or one wire up or one wire down to compensate for this guy's, inaccuracy. So, but also, this guy drops the tagline snags on the deck of the barge, and now all of a sudden the ice hammer is spinning around, okay? And there's a hose attached to the ice hammer. maybe 200 foot of hydraulic hose is attached. So now the ice hammer spins around on the deck in the air, and while it's spinning, it drags a 2-inch high pressure 3000 psi hydraulic hose across the deck. Now, what about the guy that's standing on the lee side of the hose? Okay, well, he's okay, but what about the guy that's standing on the working side of the hose? He could theoretically be cut in half, or his legs broke, or his back broke. Okay, all because some guy didn't hold the tagline. So I will give a person that has the ability to hold the tagline job. Now, what about when I'm operating the ice hammer, and the ice hammer typically, now you don't believe this, and I don't give a flying crap what you believe, but in the union, when I worked, short period of time I worked for the union, I was very good at what I did. And they rented one of my barge from me, okay, to do drilling, okay. But I also worked for the union for several months before and after that particular job. Now, when the ice hammer comes on the job, the first guy that grabs the button is the guy that gets to turn the ice hammer on and off, which is total bullshit, okay? Just because the guy knows to grab the button doesn't mean that he's good or should have that job. Oh, we have super chat, and I have a new song, because we have a thief out there that supposedly, and this is not true, because I already have the copyright to my song, the thank you song. So we have, I'll tell you about the button. So the guy who's operating the button, he has two buttons right here, on, off, on, off, on, off. That guy has to look at the job and the work and the foreman. The job, the work, and the foreman. He has to do that the entire time he has that button. If he starts dicking around, first of all, you don't smoke cigarettes when you got the button, unless you're in between picks. But that guy's got to look at now, if he's not paying attention and something happens and he releases the jaw and the sheet falls over, well, it could kill 1, 2, 3, or 4 people or more, or destroy a house. So I am of the opinion I will make the decision as to who's holding the button, which caused the problem, because some guys want to hold the button because they got to the button first, the on-off switch. I know it's a stupid thing to talk about, but the guy pushing the button on the ice hammer, he clamps the steel down. He releases the dogs on the steel. He hammers, and he stops hammering, okay? And he's watching the foreman with booming up and booming over and booming over. He's watching everything that Augie does, okay? Everything that Augie does. But I am of the opinion that I have more say-so because I have more experience. That's being slightly narcissistic. Okay, but I am a man that works with tools, works with heavy equipment, works with cranes, barges, and tugboats. All the other people on YouTube, some of them have done similar work. There is even a guy that mentioned 1356 a few weeks ago. Okay, we know, we do, we were working in the same field. We understand. Every day I went to work in the Dock Builders Union. Every day I owned a barge, a crane, or a tugboat. Every day I owned a backhoe, a bobcat, a track hoe, or a digger. Every day I owned a drill rig. Every day I could die from any single mistake. And yet, 38 years later, one person got a fingernail knocked off in 38 years because he didn't listen. And his name was Frank. And I did that job for, his real name was Frank Morrow, M-A-U-R-O, 95th Street, Howard Beach, Queens. Okay, so That man didn't listen. He got his fingernail knocked off, told me, I'm the boss, do what I tell you to do. I did it, and his fingernail got knocked off. Okay, 38 years, that was the only injury that ever occurred on my job. Any job, union, non-union, my barge, my company, my dock building company, my deck building company. So I have experience working with heavy equipment. Therefore, I'm more manly than somebody who went to work and didn't do those things. That's a fact. Plus, I got the balls to back up what I say. Not only just with videos, but my experience. You put me in a crane right now. Put me in a live wire, live boom crane right now. Put me in one right now, and I'll operate that crane. I don't need 3 hours or 5 hours to get used to it. I'll operate that crane very well right from the first minute I'm in the crane. Okay, put me behind a 100-foot tugboat, one screw or twin screws. I'll operate that boat, not a problem. Put me on a digger, any kind of digger, backhoe, bobcat, track hoe, anything, and I'll operate that equipment right now. You guys out there, you little sissies that have never sat in a piece of heavy equipment, and you think that because you can pick up a wire on a crane, on a live boom, live wire crane, you think that you sat in, I sat inside a crane one day. Doesn't make you a man. Doesn't make you an operator. What makes you a man is when you take the responsibility of many other people's lives that they go home every day at the end of the day. You people that want to pretend to be men because, I emptied out bags. Oh, God, I picked up bags of rice. Oh, I was rice. I had to carry bags. That doesn't make you a man at all. Not one bit. Because you picked up a bag of rice? Because you picked up something that weighed 75 or 80 pounds or 40 kilos? That doesn't make you a man. What makes you a man is when a real man, and my definition of a real man, is when you experience the other people's lives depend on your decisions. That makes you a man. Nothing short of that in my book. Or you were in war, and that your wartime experience, well, you made decisions whether or not people lived or died, and those wartime experiences, that makes up for a lot of heavy equipment operating, I'll tell you that. So, let's go on. Whoa, page high. Oh, my God, page high. The scam is nuts, just nuts. I run a legitimate scam, and now I can't get my screen on. Oh, my God, thank you, page high. So we're going to sing the new song, which I did memorize. Now, why do I have a new song? Because the new song is better than the old song. So the new song goes like this. Now I lost it. Well, I don't need the words for the new song, but the new song, my screen is not lighting up here. My big screen. So page high. Wow, this is amazing. No, there's something wrong here. Yeah, there's something wrong with my computer. I guess I could say that. Hold on, let me get up. I have a computer screen in front of me that should be going on, and it won't go on. It says no signal. All right, well, page high. So, okay, the new song. So, what happened to the old song? We have some coward. We're going to call him a coward. No, not a coward. A jealous person that got so upset that I sang "Thank You," the thank you song, that he said he went out and copyrighted the song. Now, first of all, here's the way copyright works. So let me explain it to you. I sang the song last year, so I can sing it anytime I want. I sang it a year and a half ago, so I can sing it anytime I want. But I made up a better song, which is even more instructional, okay? And I'm going to sing it in Polish, which which has to do with the person that supposedly stole my copyright to my song. Now, of course, his song is going to be a little different than my song. And anytime I want to sing, thank you, thank you, thank you very much, I can do that because I sang that song last year. But I have a new song that's even more direct to the person that thinks he stole my copyright. So here we go. Jeden nakrętka, wala śruba. Jeden nakrętka, wala śruba. Jeden nakrętka, gamaj nakrętka. Gamay śruba, gamay oten, jeden nakrętka, gamay oten, salamat, salamat, jeden nakrętka, gamay oten, salamat, salamat. Now that's 3 different languages, by the way. So if you want to try to figure out what that means, you figure it out. But I'll sing it again because page high, baby. This is for you. No, this is not directed at you. This is directed at that guy who thinks he stole my song. So what did I do? I just went out and made another song. By the way, when I do sing that song and you go to try to pull a copyright strike on me, I'm just going to show YouTube the video that I have of me singing the song a year and a half ago. But this is... Let me tell you, this is one of the characteristical traits that Dr. Les Carter talks about. When you move from the possibility of being a narcissist, when you move to the possibility of being a sociopath, and when you move into that third realm and the possibility exists that you're a psychopath, what you'll do is you'll want to take credit for other people's works. But it's also possible that if you are a psychopath, that you will derive pleasure by stealing another person's work. These are what Dr. Carter calls characteristical traits of a possible psychopath. So you know that if you know somebody created something, could be anything, could be a writing, a song, could be a guitar lick, whatever it is. If you then go and try to take credit for that guitar lick or a poem that you hear or topic matter, if you try to take possession as if you were the original author, you might be a psychopath. You might be a sociopath, and you might be a malignant narcissist if you do that. Now, that's in Dr. Les Carter's videos. So, disclaimer, I'm not a doctor, but Dr. Les Carter, from his videos, I have reasoned, learned, and gleaned that if a person tries to take credit for another person's discoveries or gifts in any venue, could be singing, could be poetry, could be guitar, could be accordion, could be a piano lick, whatever it is, if a person tries to take credit, that person might, disclaimer, in Dr. Les Carter's opinion, that person might be a psychopath. That's what Dr. Les Carter said. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just telling you that in his video, when a person tries to steal your intellectual rights to something and then say it was his intellectual rights and then makes note of it publicly that I copyrighted big fucking deal. You copyrighted something that I created. That, according to Dr. Les Carter, puts you in a category of a possible quote-unquote psychopath, that you steal somebody else's ideas. That's not my saying. It's Dr. Les Carter. I'll quote you in his video if you need be, but when you steal somebody else's ideas and then portray them even as yours, that's a mental problem, dude. That's a fucking mental problem. That's a serious mental issue that you have going. According to the psychiatrists, those move you from a possible narcissist, from a possible malignant narcissist, moving you right into a possible sociopath and or a possible psychopath when you try to steal somebody else's intellectual rights and then claim they're your own because you copyrighted something that I did a year and a half ago. And then make a big scene about it. I don't really give a shit. I got a new song for you. Salamat. Jeden nakrętka gamajoten. Jeden nakrętka gamajoten. Jeden nakrętka gamajoten. Wala shrubatu. Jeden nakrętka gamajoten. Wala shrubatu. Salamat ako pesos. Jeden nakrętka gamajoten, jeden nakrętka gamajoten, jeden nakrętka gamajoten, jeden nakrętka gamajoten, salamat for the pesos. Now, if you don't think that's my new song, that's my new song. And I'm going to sing that every time someone gives me a super chat. I don't really give a shit. I'll just make up another song and you can spend another $35 at the Library of Congress. And when I want to sing my original song, I will. And if you try to file a copyright claim on me, I will just give it back to YouTube that this is my song. I created it. Here's the way the copyright law works for the idiots out there that believe they can take another person's intellectual matter and or intellectual rights away from them. If I sing a song, jeden nakrętka gamajoten, jeden nakrętka gamajoten, jeden nakrętka gamajoten, salamat for the Daco pesos po. So if I sing that song, I sang it on May 15th, the day that Warren went home from the hospital of 2020. Now, next week, tomorrow, day after tomorrow, next month, 2 months from now, you go to the Library of Congress and you file that's your song. And then let's say that you make a record or an album and you put down my song, because my song at a certain time on May 15th, I made the song jeden nakrętka gamajoten, jeden nakrętka gamajoten, jeden nakrętka gamajoten, gamajoten, jeden nakrętka gamajoten, jeden nakrętka gamajoten, jeden nakrętka gamajoten, salamat ako pesos. Now, 2 years from now, you make an album and you put that on the album, and your album sells $1 million worth of videos or $1 million worth. That's my song. You have to give that money to me. It doesn't matter that you put it on an album. I was the first person to sing it. I would win in a court of law every time. I would win, because if I have video proof that I posted that song on the internet before you copyrighted it, it becomes intellectual rights to Michael Fazio. So let me just give you one more little lick, because this song is for you, baby. Jeden nakrętka gamajoten, jeden nakrętka gamajoten, Salamat ako pesos, wala shruba, jeden na krenka gamayoten, wala shruba, gamay shruba, jeden na krenka gamayoten, wala shruba, ka. Wala shrubaka, wala shrubaka, wala shrubaka, yedin krentka gamayoten, gamayoten, gamayoten. Yeah, you see, I'll just make up another song. And the next one will even be more explicit. If you can figure out what those three languages are, knock yourself out. Have a nice day. And I'm going to go back to my comments. So, Page High, Salamat. Thank you very much, Page High. So, Page High, we did go to the beach. And Scott Del Fuego describes what he does, what Page High does, what Dr. Clark Henderson does, what I do, what Warren did. We are alpha males. That's right. That's as opposed to a beta male or even a sissy boy male. Okay, there's a complete different. These are real categories, by the way. Scott Del Fuego. If I keep telling you that you really screwed up when you said Scott Del Fuego was what was it? Something about a janitor or some shit like that. I gotta tell you, dude, when you made that video about Warren, that was really disgusting. In fact, I'm going to use that as a character to frame character reference. Okay, so I'm going to use that. I want to thank you for that. I want you to keep that shit up, man. Don't worry about what I say on my videos. Worry about the 117 videos that you screwed up on. Just worry about those. Don't worry about what I said, because I don't really care what you think. I never cared what you think, and I'm never going to care what you think. But you calling Scott Del Fuego a glorified janitor and then going around posting shit on the internet that my friend Warren H. lost both his testicles when Warren admitted to losing one testicle, and then making fun that Warren can't have a conjugal visit. And you think that's funny? And you think because you put fucking disclaimer at the end of the video, you think that's okay? Well, we're going to find out how okay that is exactly. I would suggest that you go find out if that's okay as well. Because, well, I'm going to tell you something. This shit is going into the Hall of Fame, baby. These are going to be fucking classic videos, YouTube classics one day. This shit is more than the average person could possibly. When people watch that video, and a lot of people have watched that video, they think that your sense of entitlement to belittle, berate, and degrade a great man like Warren H., not because he's a great man, but because of his cancer. And then you claim some bullshit theory that's only inside your head. That's called self-entitlement, that you believe that because you said it, it's okay. And you justify it because you said that shit. Well, you know what? You and your fucking trolls are the only people that agree with what you said. Nobody in authority agrees with what you did or said. Nobody. Nobody ever will. No authoritative figure will ever believe that you should be allowed to say that about Warren H., especially considering that Warren H. is a vetted hero in the police department in Australia of 19 years with 0 blemishes on his record. And then you belittle him, making fun that he had cancer, making fun that he had one testicle removed, but you went one step further. You made him a eunuch, a complete eunuch, and then you said his dick don't even work because he doesn't have any testosterone. That's what you said. Word for word, verbatim, documented, time-stamped, recorded, and sent to everybody that it needs to be sent to. And you because of your lack of understanding of humanity and your lack of empathy and your total disregard for compassion or empathy, with no regard whatsoever for people's feelings, and the fact that you believe you're allowed to abuse innocent people, especially women. Dude, you got some serious fucking problems, whoever you are. Disclaimer, you got some serious fucking problems, and they're going to be addressed. So don't worry about addressing me and my theories and my videos. Don't worry about any of that shit. You bring the fact up that I did this video, and I'm going to bring the other video into play, and then we're going to see who really thinks who or whom is off track, so to speak. Okay? You do that. We, now it's we, by the way. Now it's we. We welcome the challenge. We. So you can think that there's a conspiracy, but if it's legal, is it really a conspiracy, or is it a concerted effort to make people aware of a certain thing? I don't know what you want to call it, but you can call it whatever you want. I will assure you there is no conspiracy, as the word conspiracy means, the definition of conspiracy. There is no conspiracy, and there is no what you call collusion. No, there are just a consensus of several, and it's multiple people at this point, all in agreement that what you have done, stated, said, insinuated in a hateful, despicable, nothing but contempt for innocent people. There is a concerted effort among multiple people now, multiple Filipinos, foreigners alike, a concerted effort to make people aware that some person or people on the internet should not be allowed to do and say the things that they do. Now, whether or not anything comes of this, we're going to find that out. But I will assure you that I'm going to tell you that we welcome the opportunity to bring these before any authority that may or may not be included in this venue. Okay? We welcome that. Don't make any bones about it. There's going to be a multitude, a plethora of people that will come forward and actually be there. They're going to be there. They're coming. They're coming, baby. They're coming. So don't worry about what you think or what you can and what you cannot say. You could say anything you want, but there is right now a plethora of people that will be willing to go forward and make a statement, a legal, legitimate, congruous statement to what the facts are based on what they've seen and heard. So you take that shit and put it, like you say, put that in your pipe and smoke it. That's a phrase that you use. You take that shit and put it in the pipe and you smoke it, because that's where it's going. When you made that fucking video about my friend Warren having testicular cancer and that both his testicles were cut off, which isn't true, and then you made fun, laughing that Warren couldn't have a conjugal visit, there isn't a fucking person on YouTube that didn't find that video despicable. And neither did anyone else the video was shown to. So you fucked up by making these stupid videos, 117 and counting, 117 and counting. You fucked up. I didn't fuck up. And I don't really give a shit what you think. My friend Warren does not have both his testicles removed. And when he does come home from the hospital, he is coming to the Philippines specifically for reasons of picking out furniture, picking out color patterns and schemes for things for the hotel, And he is specifically has other things that he's going to do when he gets here. You're the most amazing fucking person I've ever seen in my entire life. You just don't get it. You don't get it. Even people that are close to you have told you to shut the fuck up. And do you take their advice? No, you don't take their advice. You don't take their advice. You just keep on babbling on, and occasionally the fucking rag, the Iron Curtain falls, and then that's going to be when the Iron Curtain fell down. That was your downfall, by the way. That was your downfall. That was the end of it. So you just keep right on posting shit about my friend Warren and his testicular cancer, which doesn't stop him from having sex. You read an article where both testicles were removed. What the fuck is wrong with you? What the fuck is wrong with you that you don't know that Warren only had one testicle removed? And why do you care? That's the big fucking question. Why do you care? Why the fuck do you care whether Warren has a conjugal visit or not? Why is it your business to get involved with Warren H's business, whether he's telling the truth or not telling the truth? What the fuck do you care? That's the problem. See, this is what Dr. Les Carter was talking about. He was talking about people that have serious, Les Carter, not me, serious psychological issues, that they feel the need to belittle, berate, and demean innocent people. Now, Warren is about as innocent as you can get. But more so than Warren, how many videos did you demean, degrade, and abuse Daisy May in? How many videos? How many? 1, 2, 15, 20? I have 20. I have 20. Okay? I even have some full-on, you and the other person, the flyer. I have those videos. So we're going to find out. We're going to find out if you're allowed to say that shit or not. But don't worry about it. Don't worry about Warren's testicles, and don't worry about Daisy May and where she is and what she's doing, and don't worry about why Daisy and I are no longer together. It's none of your business. But if you want to make it your business, we'll do that. We're going to do that. Okay? We'll do that. But I don't understand. What I don't understand is why I'm watching all these videos. Dr. Les Carter describes all of this shit. There's something fucking wrong inside some people's heads that allows them to believe it's their job to abuse innocent people. That's what Dr. Les Carter. It's not me. Don't shoot the messenger. My disclaimer, opinion only. Okay? So, there we go. We're going to move on to the next topic. And I did drop my sunglasses. Okay, we have another pair over here. Back up. Okay, so Dr. Les Carter, and we move on. LOL. Warren. Okay, so we're gonna have we have Scott Nylock, Two Bears. That's right, Nylock. Right, Nylock is fucking Two Bears. Thank you. That's what they're called. I haven't used a Nylock nut in years. Thank you, Two Bears. That's the kind of nut. It's called the Nylock. I haven't used one of these in years. Okay, Two Bears is absolutely correct. The name of this nut is called a Nylock nut. Nylock, N-Y-L-O-C. I forget a lot of the terminology. I have, you don't want to know how many of these I have. I have a lot of these. So this is a Nylock nut. It's a nylon plastic rubber-based product. And when the bolt goes through, it locks. Once it breaks that coating, it locks onto the nut. It's not a lot of pressure. You can unscrew it, but it's a Nylock nut. Thank you, Two Bears. Two Bears is correct. Not a lot of people would know that, by the way. Thank you, Two Bears. Two Bears is an engineer and a mechanic that lives in the Philippines, baby. Thank you, Two Bears. All right, so we have a lot of, we have Two Bears. Good evening, Hoodwink. Good evening, Two Bears. Hope that you're still here. Steve Montelli. Hey, John. How you doing tonight? John says hello to Steve. It's raining in Toronto, says Two Bears also. It rained here yesterday, I'll tell you that. My sister's near Tampa. I hope to be there in a couple of years, too. Probably Gulf Coast somewhere. I'll talk to you about that, Scott. What might be a real cool place to retire. I myself wouldn't retire there. It's called I have to think of the name of the resort. Steve Montelli says thank you. Yeah, baby. Obama loves you. You know that, Steve. Sitting the way he was, that was not his nut he was scratching, but just my opinion. Dennis Adam, welcome to the machine. Yeah, baby. I tried to call you up to tell you a true story about that video, but I can't say it on YouTube. Not that I'm shy, but number one, you wouldn't believe me, and number two, it is now something else. It has to be put to the side, that conversation. Way to go, Warren, picking out that big nut. Yeah, baby. Two Bears, Nylock, yes. Scott Del Fuego says, true alpha males are scarce in the world of today. True alpha males are scarce in the world today. The soft, everyone gets a trophy, metrosexual atmosphere has made masculinity toxic to many. Here in Michael's world, real men can flourish, and they do. And everybody on my page pretty much is a real man. I don't know, Honeycomb Baby, she's not a real man. She's a real babe is what she is. Welcome to the machine. Pavarotti, baby, from Page High. John Escape says, LOL. Your wife. You understand those languages, huh? That's interesting. I'll sing it again for Page High, Dr. Page High. Honeycomb to Timothy, hello. Can I also say shut the fuck up to this creep? You can, John. Michael is an honorary member of... Okay, Steve Montelli says, Michael is an honorary member of the conspiratorium. Anyone speaking the truth over lies is a member. That's Steve Montelli. He's got a channel, baby. He is a truth speaker and a truth seeker. Blue Rose, completely summed up, just as Dr. Les Carter describes. Thank you, Blue Rose. So we have 8 people here, the internet. Okay, so I'm going to sing the song again for Dr. Page High. So you can go fucking copyright this too. And next week I'll make up another one, even more complementary to a certain personality and personality disorder. So we're going to sing again. This is for Dr. Page High. Remember, the super chat button was my friend today. And then I'm going to go, actually, I'm going to go outside and do some painting. So here we go. So for Dr. Page High, Yedin, no. Yeah. It's Yedin is correct. I'm speaking 3 different languages here. Yedin nakrętka gamajotin, jeden nakrętka gamajotin, wala shrubaka, jeden nakrętka gamajotin, gamaj nakrętka wala shruba, gamaj nakrętka, salamat ako pesos po. Jedyna krętka gamają ten, jedyna krętka gamajna krętka, jedyna krętka gamają ten, jedyna krętka puka. Jedyna krętka gamają ten, gamają ten, jedyna krętka gamają ten. You can copyright this if you like. Jedyna krętka gamają ten, gamają ten, gamają ten, jedyna krętka gamają ten. You can copyright this as well. We'll just use you as an example of someone who steals someone else's creative genius and prove beyond any doubt that you have personality traits and or possible personality disorders that prove that you derive pleasure from stealing other people's intellectual rights. And therefore, I also have documentation that you said that. Oh yeah, you are a fucking plethora of information. Incriminating, I might also say at some point, once you move from benign videos about fucking, I'm not going to mention Super Chat anymore. I'm not going to, you know, here's what Dr. Les Carter would say. Dr. Les Carter, in his video, What is a Narcissist, What is a Sociopath, and What is a Psychopath, in his video series describing those 3 personality disorders. Well, one of those disorders is a person that lies with no remorse and then twists. If he gets caught in a lie, he'll twist that up. So they will also lie. This is one of the personality disorders, one of these 3. You might be a narcissist, you might be a sociopath, and you might be a psychopath if you are a pathological liar. So one type of pathological lying is, I'm never going to mention Super Chat again. I'm not going to talk about it for the rest of this video. Now, could I do that if I wanted to? Of course, I could do that because I would keep the agreement with myself and also with my subscribers. But I have heard other people make agreements like that and then go on and mention no one donates to my channel, 1. No one gives me Super Chat, 2. No one cares about me financially, 3. No one helps my channel financially, 4. No one gives me Super Chat, 5. No one Super Chats me, 6. 77 times in one video in about 43 minutes. But in a most recent video, after a person said, I'm not going to talk about Super Chat or donations to my channel, that person mentioned money, AdSense, that AdSense doesn't cover the bills, Super Chat, nobody gives donations to my channel. After he promised to not talk about Super Chat at all anymore in that video, he mentioned some sort of failure to give him Super Chat 23 times. But in another video, these are just observations. Don't shoot the messenger. It's not my opinion. It's an observation. I heard a story about how I made Daisy dance for me. And when we were doing live streams together, that was part of our show. So that's true. I would say, Daisy, would you like to dance? I never forced her to dance, by the way. That's a lie. So you misconstrued the truth again. Did I go out there and say, Daisy, you need to dance? No, I never said that. But one person made it sound like I demanded that either Daisy dance or the world was going to end. No, Daisy danced. and she did singing because she enjoyed that. And she also enjoyed the additional monies that she received from Super Chat and donations. So I could not force Daisy to do anything. She had, for some strange reason, she had the ability, and I don't mean it in a bad way, she had the ability to make up her own mind about certain things. Whether I agreed or disagreed, she had her opinion. So I never forced Daisy to do anything. And specifically, one of the videos that you made last week, and I'm talking to you directly now, about a certain thing that I forced Daisy to do certain things, you have no proof of that. None. Zero. And the fact that you lied again, you're a pathological miscreant when it comes to telling the truth. That you lied and said, I forced Daisy to do welding. Well, I never forced Daisy to do welding ever. She loved doing welding. And that Daisy had a scar that would last for life. Well, the scar is gone. But you make up these stories for your psycho, fake-ass trolls that you have on your channel. You make up these fucking stories. You make up this psycho story that Daisy has a scar on her foot for life. The scar cannot even be seen even after 1 year. It's gone. But even if she had a scar, the scar, you made up a story, an outright blatant lie. The story came from first of all, you idiot, there is welding and there is torches. Okay? There's a welding torch. Daisy did not receive the welding injury from a torch. You idiot. You mental incomplete sub-understanding when it comes to construction, sub-knowledgeable nothing in the construction industry. Daisy's injury came from what is called spatter, S-P-A-T-T-E-R. The spatter came from some welding rod that I bought at City Hardware that came from China. Both she and I both got infections from the spatter. It did not come from a torch. A torch is oxyacetylene. There is no such thing as a welding torch that you can weld with a torch, but and you could say it's a welding torch, but she did not receive the injury from a torch. She received it from spatter. That was clear as day when the first video came out, but you're too stupid. You're an ignorant person when it comes to construction knowledge. You should not delve into construction concepts or thoughts. That you posted all over the internet that Daisy received a burn from a welding torch, oxyacetylene. I guess you meant that, but you're too stupid to say the word oxyacetylene torch, so you used the word welding torch. That Daisy, she did not receive the burn. In fact, never did Daisy ever operate an oxyacetylene torch. That would be the one tool that I would not let her use. I let her look at me with goggles on, cut steel, but she was not allowed to use the torch for very, very specific reasons. I didn't have time to train her with the operational proper procedures in operating a welding torch, and I only had let Daisy use the tool she was trained on specifically. So welding, she knew what to do. Ground wire, water, in case there's a burn, to keep the wires separate from one another. Daisy was trained in welding. Daisy would go outside. I'd come home from the city. She'd be welding. She loved welding. She would weld. She would just practice making lines. She didn't care. She was, as long as that arc was arcing, she loved it. So you lying again and again and again and again and again with your fucking bullshit that Daisy got burned with a welding torch, even though it was clear as day that Daisy's injury came from a small piece of spatter about the size of a pinhead, as did my infection. Something in the spatter caused what Clark Henderson called a compartmentalized bacteriological infection. It means something in the flux that landed on both my feet and Daisy's ankle the same day or thereabouts caused an infection in both of us. So your bullshit, your fucking bullshit knowledge of construction tools and equipment, and your fucking bullshit ability to remember what was said in a specific video, even though it was mentioned multiple times over several months while our injuries healed, and still you make up these bullshit videos that Daisy was injured from a welding torch, when never, ever, ever, there is no video on YouTube. There never was a video on YouTube. There was never any mention of Daisy using a welding torch, other than the fact she was with me when I bought the torch. That's it. That's all there was. She was just with me when I bought the torch. That's as close to welding, oxyacetylene welding, as Daisy ever got, and you and your fucking bullshit. Pretty much everybody on the internet has had it with you and your fucking bullshit, which is about ready to come to an end because nobody's willing to take your bullshit anymore. No one wants to hear your bullshit. Your bullshit, the lies, the deceits, the half-truth, the fact that you demeaned Warren in such a mean, agonizing, despicable, cruel way, when none of what you said is true. People have had it with your bullshit. People have had it. So take that to the fucking bank. Stick that in your bank account. Go fuck yourself. By the way, in case you didn't fucking get what my point was there. All right, well, we are about done. So we still have 17 people watching, which is a good thing. And that's it. It's a wrap, baby. We want to thank you for watching. We want to thank you for listening to my comments on Dr. Les Carter's video uploads. And in what I'm going to do is, when this video loads, John Escape says, take care, Mike. Thank you very much, John. When this video loads, I'm going to go to the video, and I'm going to post the show notes from this video that I have. Some, but all of the links for the videos I discussed in this video. So, if I discussed what a narcissist may or may not be, according to Doc, if you guys are still here, thank you, John Escape. Thank you, Steve Montelli. Mike L., you're still here. Thanks for the comments. You said it's always entertaining, even though that somebody blocked your comments. Mike L., I tell you what, Mike L., here's a deal I'll make with you. If you want to know what I do in my personal life, you come to my $50 or above level on my Patreon page. Then you're going to have the opportunity to see what some of the things that I do in my personal life. Not everything. There are some things that are only for male recipients. But some of the things that I do, some of the people that I'm friends with, some of the people I associate with to some small or large degree, some of the people or restaurants that I go to, at the $50 or higher level, there they are. then you could come into my Patreon account, donate a minimum of $50 for your initial presence at that level, and then you'll be able to see what I do in my spare time. Okay? I mean, I'm not asking you to become a member of my Patreon account, but if you're so worried about it, and I mean, that's how you can know what I do, instead of asking me these personal questions. Do I keep busy? I do more work. Oh, I work typically... Typically, I'll do 3 hours of hard physical work in the sun in a day. Now, if I start my day at 7 o'clock in the morning, typically I'll work till about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So that would be really a 6-hour day, nonstop. Then I'll have lunch and then take a nap. But I work, okay? I still perform job duties and job descriptions. Now, a lot of the things I do here in the Philippines, I don't post because, for instance, I went to a party with 300 people. There were good guys and there were bad guys at the party. There were police, there were women, there were children in the video. I'm not going to post a video with children in the video. I'm talking about, 3 or 4 or 5-year-old children. Now, I made those videos specifically for the children's parents, who in fact I sent their videos to. I made a video for the parents of the children, but none of my friends got the video. I made a video for posterity. Page high, if somehow you get me your email, you would be one of the people I would send a video, not of the party, but some of the other videos I made on Starfish Beach, where I maybe 15 people came up to me and said hello to me all at one time. And they all knew my name, and they were all giving me high fives and asking me where Mr. Obama was. Okay, so now if I had your email, I would probably send a video like that to you, and then you would see how I live. And I don't even live anywhere near Starfish Beach, but they would see that. I mean, somebody like you, I would send it to Scott Del Fuego, Dennis Adam, Carl Vella, John Escape, Clark Henderson, Dr. Clark Henderson, other people whose name I wouldn't mention. I'd send it to Steve Montelli in a heartbeat if I had his email, but I don't. Steve is a very private person. Even though we're friends, the only thing I have for Steve is Facebook Messenger, and I won't post on Facebook Messenger. I don't post much stuff there. So Dr. Paige Hall, you might be interested in that other video, and you might not, but I don't want to post. I don't post videos of children on my Patreon page per se. I don't not post videos of children. I have many videos of children where I live saying hello to me and give me a high five, but that's not what my channel's about. And considering with YouTube's new stupid rules, if 15 children walk up to you and all start giving you high fives and hello, Michael, and where's Mr. Obama, oh, that's perfectly acceptable. It's perfectly legal. It's perfectly normal for where I live for 15 children to walk up to me and say hello, or 5 children, or 3 children, or 10 children. What's not acceptable and why I won't post videos in a public venue of children anymore is because there are some sick, twisted, psychopathic, sociopathic, malignant, and narcissistic personalities on YouTube. Who knows what they would do with the videos I posted of children giving me a high five or saying hello, Michael, or asking me where Mr. Obama is. See, these people out there on YouTube, in YouTube land, and the possibility of them being narcissists, malignant narcissists, the possibility exists of them being sociopaths, and the possibility of them exists being psychopaths. I don't want them to have videos of children, whether or not the children are with their parents or friends or older and younger, it doesn't matter. I don't want them to have those videos. So I don't post a lot of the stuff that I have in my videos pages as private, because there are some sick, twisted, demented, psychopathic, sociopathic, malignant, narcissist type personalities. Disclaimer, there are those people on the internet, and I don't post videos on my page anymore of children. So when YouTube asks me, are these videos meant for children? No, they're not meant for children. They're meant for adults. And they don't have children in them because of YouTube's ridiculous laws and the way people twist up the stuff that's on YouTube. So that's my message to you people out there. So if Mike L wants to know about my personal life, it'll just cost you $50. And then you can see some of the things that I do in my personal life. Not all, though. There are things that I'll make a video for 3 hours, and I'll only send it to Dennis Adam, Scott Del Fuego, Big E and Cebu, Mercury, Jack Thompson, of course, Jack Thompson. I hate Jack Thompson. And a few other people. Those are my personal email. Dr. Clark Henderson may or may not get one, because the problem with Dr. Henderson sending him an email is he wants his email separate from everybody else's. So by the time I send out 10 separate emails and post the link, post the title, post the subject matter, pick out the email address, that takes like 2 minutes per email, because it takes a while for it to open up on my screen. So by the time I send it out to 10 individual people, that's 20 minutes. And this is for no views, no monetary gain. This is just so that my personal friends know what I'm doing. So if you people allowed me to connect your emails with one another, it would probably be a lot easier for me to do it, and I would send out the emails in groups. But Clark Henderson doesn't want his email mixed up. Big E in Cebu doesn't want his email mixed up with other people. And then other people have their emails. So if I send it out to, typically it's 11 email recipients, then only on certain levels of my Patreon page, or only to certain people. Like all of my Patreon members that were members of my Patreon before January 5th, they all receive every upload. But the new members, even the members that are at the $3 level that were members before January 5th, they get all my uploads. So I have to send out individually an email to each one of those people. So it takes me an hour to send out one video to my Patreon and my mail address. And I do that because people send me Patreon money and they pledge money to me. So, but there's no money on YouTube or AdSense to be made for, maybe I get 15 views. And that's okay, because the Patreon money is what subsidizes my time to send out the videos. And nobody has quit my Patreon account in 2 months, and I received 2 new subscribers at the $20 pledge, and 2 people raised their $20 pledge, one to $50, then the other one to $50, and then the other one to $100. So, my Patreon pledges is what allows me to send my Patreon videos. And Chris Nuttall, if he ever comes back on, he's from Australia. Chris will know that I have kept my word and prove to you that I have kept my word. All Patreon members before January 5th receive all my uploads. Then after January 5th, you receive whatever level I post them at. So Chris Nuttall was a $20 per month subscriber on Patreon. And I said, anybody who's a member before January 5th gets all my uploads. So Chris Nuttall reduced his pledge to $3 about 3 months ago. Chris Nuttall has never missed a Patreon upload at any level, even the ones that go only for the $50 level, because he was a member before January 5th. And I'm a man of my word. Chris will guarantee that. Blue Rose will guarantee that. Dave Exline will guarantee that. And so will a dozen other people below the $20 level, because I'm a man of my word. If I give you my word that I'm going to do something or something is true, take my word for it, it's true. Just like I told that schlep that thinks that everything he's ever done in life is, he's better than me in everything, which means he's in better shape. He's already made that perfectly clear, but he won't take the 10-mile Fazio challenge. Well, it's not even 10 miles. It's only 15 kilometers, 7.5 miles. Why? Are you a coward? Are you a sissy? Are you a coward that you're afraid that you're not in better shape than Michael Fazio, fat Michael Fazio? Are you a coward? Are you afraid to take a lousy 7.5 mile walk in the hot sun, even though you're a man? Fat Fazio, he's not in shape. He'd die of a massive... No, if I did die of a massive heart attack in the sun of a heat stroke, yay. Because real men don't give a shit about stuff like that, dude. But if I had a bitch every fucking day that I didn't have any money for a computer, or I didn't have any money for this, or I didn't have any fucking money for that, and I need this and I need that, and you don't give me super chat, and I'm going to block you. If I had a fucking bitch every day about money, and someone offered me $5,000 fucking dollars to walk 7 miles, and if they beat me, they would get $5,000, or I beat them, I would take that challenge, because I know I can walk 7 miles. Now, I wouldn't take that challenge against a 20 or 30, or even a 40-year-old man, but a man my age, so-called man my age, so-called, I don't know how old the guy is, actually, because nothing that ever came out of his mouth is true, in my opinion. I don't know how old he is, but I know he said he could beat me in anything in life. I heard that. I have it recorded. I have the words. I have it documented. And if he could beat me in anything and everything, that he's better at everything, and that I'm fat, old, obese, and I'm going to die of a heat stroke, well, then why doesn't he just get on his little pair of sneakers there and walk with me for 7 miles? And if I win, he gives me $5,000. And if that means if he falls down during the walk, if he falls down or can't complete the walk, I win $5,000. Now, if we both do the walk and we both complete the walk, then he's got to stop calling me a fat bastard with giant memories. That's what we should do. But he won't do that, because I believe that he's a coward, and he's just got a big mouth, and his mouth is writing checks that his body can't keep. Says I don't swim in the deep, and I swim in the deep. Says I'm afraid of deep water. I have video of me in 120 feet of water. This guy, you gotta watch Dr. Les Carter's videos. You just gotta watch his videos. But don't just watch his videos. I'm gonna give you 5 different YouTube channels, 5 different doctors, men and women, that are psychologists, psychotherapists, psychologists, and have doctorates in psychology, and they do videos on what they believe is a narcissist, what they believe is a malignant narcissist, and what they believe is a sociopathic personality disorder, and what they believe is a psychopathic personality disorder. I want you to watch these videos so you can see these characteristical traits and how they determine what you are watching on YouTube. And that's my message for 5/15. Today's a very special day, but not as special. Here's a big note now. Today would have been, I won't tell you whose birthday it would have been, but she passed away. Okay, so, but, my grandmother, whose name is Frances, and her birthday is May 31st. So it's really strange the way that worked out. In my family, I have a great-great-grandmother, a grandmother, and of course I had a mother. And they were all born in the month of May. And my grandmother, her name was Frances, and my grandfather's name was Frank. Now, but Frank, his birthday was in, I think it's December. But my grandmother's birthday, I remember, is May 31st. So we're going to have a super chat for my grandmother, Frances. And then on that day, I'll give you her last name. So we're going to have a special birthday party for my grandmother, because my grandmother, she was a pretty cool lady. She would let me drive her car. It was an old Plymouth, and it had the push buttons to the left of the steering wheel. And she would put me on her lap on a pillow and let me drive her car. And this is going back to the 60s, early 60s, okay? So she lived in New Jersey. So we would get, to get to her house from the road was an incline that was pretty steep, probably more than 25 or 30 degrees. And I remember she would tell me, now push the button with the low button. And then we would go up into the garage. And in the garage, if there wasn't another car, it was a 2-car garage, she would turn the car around. I would not do that. But she would let me drive, not in reverse down the driveway, but down the driveway, I would hold the steering wheel. Then we would make a left to go to the mailbox, which was about maybe 700 feet. And then we would go down to the highway, and she would let me push the buttons for the low, medium, and high speed. So my grandmother, Frances, her birthday would have been May 31st. And she was born in like I have to look it up, but she was born, if my 29, she was born in like 1902 or 1903. Is that right? Yeah, that's about right. Somewhere between the late 1890s. So we're going to have a special super chat day on May 31st for my grandmother, Frances. And I want you guys to all come. I'm going to sing the thank you song in 3 different languages. I'm going to have, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to have I'll do something special for Grandma Frances, because it would have been, it could have actually been her 100th birthday. 130th birthday, 120th. If she was born in, I can't call up today though. If I call up one of my family members today to find out what day my grandmother was born on, Oh, that would cause a problem. Not because they would be mad at me, but I have family members. You can't call them during the holidays. You can't call them during some special occasions that occurred in our lifetimes. And you can't call them on certain people's birthdays. They just get totally distraught and not emotionally. They don't want to deal with reality that people die that are close to us. So, but one thing I'm letting you all know right now, on May 31st, my grandmother Frances, and I'll decide whether or not to give you her name, and my grandmother's name was Francis, and my grandfather's name was Frank. But it's not his birthday on the 31st. I don't know why it worked out like that. There's two other correlations with names similar to one another. With those names in my family, but from a different part of my family. On my father's side, there's a correlation like that, and on my mother's side. It's a strange thing, the Francis and the Frank thing in my family. But on May 31st, I think I'm going to do a special live stream for my special members. I'll try to think of something special to do. I might even release. No, I'll think about it. But thanks everybody. So we'll sing the song one more time. We're gonna sing the three different language song. Great show, says Steve Montelli. Mike L says, good day. Have a good day. Timothy Starr, hoodwinked by an angel. Thanks for the links. Timothy Starr. Big E, thank you. Salamat. Great show for Mr. Fazio. Have a good day. Honeycomb Baby. Steve Montelli. Hard physical work. Yikes. Wait till Mr. Obama gets a hold of you, Steve. You're going to find out what hard physical work is. Tom Bennett has nothing on Fazio. Salamat. Whoa. So that's a big compliment. So one more time. Salamat to Paige High. Jedina krenka. Gamayotin, wala shuruba, jedina krenka, wala shuruba, gamayotin salamat, jedina krenka, gamayotin, wala shuruba, jedina krenka, gamayotin. Salamat. Amping Permi. Bye-bye for now. We love you, baby. Who loves you, baby? Oh, Mr. Obama. He loves you, baby. He loves Steve Montelli. He's holding Steve Montelli's nut. Mr. Obama is waiting for Steve Montelli to put him under. Put him under, Stephen. Which I heard you say on your live stream you prefer to be called Stephen. Stephen Montelli. Umping Permi. Scott. Biggie. Dennis. Whoop. Let's see if there's something important there. I see comments coming in. Stephen Montelli. Michelle wants it back, baby. Stephen Montelli. Steve Montelli wants to be called Stephen. He said he wishes his parents named him, has used the word Stephen. So you guys that go to Steve Montelli show, he's not going to change the name of his show, but if you want to refer to him as Stephen, he likes that name. In fact, Stephen is one of my cousins whose aunt is named Frances and her husband's name is Frank. That's another part of the family. So remember, Stephen Montelli, we have things to talk about with you and Mr. Obama and Michelle with the nut thing. Dr. Fazio, you can tell I'm having fun. I don't want to end the live stream, right? Dr. Fazio to the rescue. One one nut replacement, folks. Remember, you heard it here first. Nobody else on YouTube has a one nut with 100% guarantee. If I have Steve Montelli do the one nut insertion, he promises to give you the proper amount of anesthesia, and he almost guarantees that you're going to wake up. Almost guarantees 100% revival after Steve Montelli anesthesia. And by the way, for one crying in the wilderness, how does Steve Montelli afford to go back and forth to the Philippines 35 times? Let me tell you something. Steve is a real licensed anesthesiologist. They make a lot of money because their job description says that if they make a mistake, people die. So people pay them a lot of money so that they don't make mistakes. So stop crying about Steve Montelli going back and forth to the Philippines. Stop your bitching about how much money Steve Montelli spends on airfare. Stop crying that he wastes money on airfare because it's his money. Why do you care what he does with it? And how he got it is that when he makes a mistake, people die. He don't make mistakes, so everybody lives, but his reputation, his job description, people understand. They pay him big dollars so he doesn't make a mistake. So stop your bitching. When you got an education like Stephen Montelli has, you deserve the big bucks because you're putting your boys out there on the line every time you make a decision. Stop your bitching. Ah! Stop believing that you're a victim. Stop. Start being more like Mike. That's your only hope, to be more like Mike. See, go watch my videos, what real men do for a living. What real men do for a living is they operate tugboats, barges, cranes, pile drivers, backhoes, track hoes, drill rigs, chainsaws, baby. Go climb a tree with a steel 290 and lop that down, limit, load. Let's see you go out with a chainsaw into the forest and not cry. You'd be crying if I put you up in a tree with climbing gear. You wouldn't know where to go, what to do. Chances are somebody as stupid as you would cut the limb they were sitting on. Stop your fucking bitching. Holy shit. Stephen, that's what I said. Stephen. Steve is fine. Stephen, that's what I said. Not Stefan. I never said Stefan. If I said Stefan, it was a misinterpretation. But I remember what you said. I watched your show. I just was watching it while I was resting. You know me. I'm a lazy bastard. I'm Ping Permy, everybody. Thanks for stopping by. Say goodbye, Mr. Obama. Goodbye, Steve. I love you. I love you, Stephen. Stephen Montelli, I love you. I love you. I love you, Stephen Montelli.